Hello, Nomad Sculpt, and this video is just for fun, a workflow video, how to block out a dinosaur. I try a T-Rex, okay. So first I need a reference. I download here a side view of such a T-Rex dinosaur. Okay, so then Nomad Sculpt, and I start a new project. Okay. So the sphere I don't need, I delete it, and I add a plane primitive, and I'm using now the gizmo and the rotate snapping here 90 degrees, so I bring the plane in the right position so that the right view is here, front view is like this, and so that the aligning is correct. Okay, so, and then I place my texture here on the plane. So you see the ratio is not correct. So here you see 626 by 210. So .626, and this scaling here is 0.21. So this is the correct ratio. And then I press here validate. So now I check the wireframe. So I go a step back and change here the constant density. So we need a wireframe more like this here. That it's more square-like, or yes, more like this. So now I press validate. And now I need more topology, so multi-resolution, linear subdivision, and I subdivide it a few times. 216,000 is okay, I think. Yeah. Okay, so everything should be fine. And now I'm starting with Blockout. So I'm using the mask tool. And I mask here the jaw. I'm using a smaller radius, so this becomes the jaw. I hope you can see it, so I tap on it. So this part is now masked, and I tap on the mask extraction, and I'm choosing here a height, and you see it's extracted in positive and negative direction. So this is this checkbox here, plus minus, so here and plus minus. So this here is fine, I think. So I press extract, clear all, and here this on tap here, this checkbox you can turn off. So the next part, the best is here to rename it, to give everything a name. So I give it here outline, and come on. So this is the jaw. So back to the head. So now I draw only the outline of the head. And tap inside then you see the extraction. So extract, clear all. Okay, so the next part is here, this here inside the mouth, the flesh here. I mask it here like this. And this object here, I'm changing the extraction. So only plus, and I don't need such a thickness. Maybe like this here. So I press extract. So I don't know the name. I say mouth, flesh. So, and this here was the head. So I put the jaw under the head and the mouth, the flesh here inside the head. So then everything is selected and it's fine. And the mouth flesh here, I add a mirror repeater. So like this here. So when I'm using here the solo view, and let's use the sculpting brushes here, or the gizmo. So with the gizmo we can scale the whole thing a little bit. And here on the side you see here the group and only the object. So I only want to scale the head a little bit like this, and then move here some head parts. So you can also turn off the paint or the textures. Then you see it like this here. And so I'm selecting this one. And this part I move a little bit in this direction. So that it looks a little bit like a head. And here, so I turn back the textures, and here is the eye somewhere. So I'm using the clay tool, sub, and maybe here is the eye a little bit here on this position. Change to, maybe it looks like this. And here the nose. And we also can use the sub function here and sculpt inside. And it's also possible to voxel remesh from time to time. So here you see the setting, change the resolution a little bit and remesh the whole thing. So now we get paint, but and this one here, I also voxel remesh it. Smoothing. Okay, so back to the plane. So I'm using the move brush at the moment. Okay, so the next thing, I mask the other part of the head. Sorry. So this is part 2 of the head. Maybe like this. So we have to change here back to plus minus. So here is the smoothing slider and the relax thing here. We can relax it a little bit and smooth it a little bit out. And so maybe like this. So I clear the mask and back to the so, and this one here, I also do a voxel remesh. So I get here the color thing here, that it's gone. And also this one here, I voxel remesh. Okay. Oh. So the next part is here the neck. Oh, I changed the tool. And a little bit, not too much softness. I forgot it for the other parts, but it doesn't matter. So extract, maybe voxel remesh. So here I trim, this part here I trim away. So this is the neck. And this one was the main head 1. So I put the rest of the head here, and then I put the head inside the neck the neck. So then the hierarchy is okay. So now I'm masking the, yeah, oh, brush radius is too big. So I'm masking this part here. So a little bit bigger. Extract. So I'm using smoothness. And I press voxel remesh. So, oops, not connected. So this is the name belly, and here so this one, this becomes what's the name, chest or breast? Breast, I think. So we have the belly, okay, and then the breast, and then the chest. So, and here voxel remesh. So I'm hiding this part and this part and clear all. So now we need a part of the leg. So I'm masking it like this here. So, and this leg is only in the positive direction, and extract. And a voxel remesh. So I call it leg 1. So the next part is here, this one here. Extract. Remesh. So this is leg 2. And the leg 2 is inside a child of leg 1. So like this here. And then we need a claw, or yeah. So I pick here the middle one. Make it a little bit smaller. Like this. And this is a claw, or a tooth. No, not a tooth. A toe. So here. Then I clear the mask, and now sorry, where's my mask here? So this is, I have to mask it with a bigger radius. So now you can see it, here's the extraction. So this is fine. Voxel remesh. And this is claw. So I put it here inside the 2. So for the 2 here, or toe I think is the name. So I place here this is a pivot point at the moment, so I need a new pivot point, so I press pivot and move it here to this position here, and then I'm fine. So, and I have to change here object to auto, so that the whole group thing is moved. And yeah, so in fact I can select here the both objects here and create a clone or an instance. So I'm using here the cloning feature and bring it in position here like this. And again a clone in the other direction. So, and here is another one here. So this one. So you see here the extraction and extract, and so this one I clone and bring the pivot to this position here. Oh, there's a small mistake, so I have to trim this part here away, and also this one here. So now I check the pivot positions and bring it in position. So this one is more centered here in this position. Okay. For the moment I hide the plane and I'm checking the mesh. So here the leg, oh sorry, I only need the leg, and I bring it a little bit here in this position, and I add a mirror node. So at the moment here, add on gizmo is active, so this checkbox we don't need. So then the mirror node is on the correct position. So I pick this here and I'm using the clay brush a little bit. Oh, it's in the negative direction. So then we get a little bit more volume. Like this. And also the belly here, we need more volume on the things here. So there's a problem somewhere, I don't know exactly where. Ah, here I forgot the front vertex checkbox, so this could be a problem, I think, but I'm not sure. Ah, I'm in the wrong tool. Yeah, I need the clay tool. Sorry. So, and here we also need more. Using the move tool. The neck, clay, moving. So the rest here from the head is sculpting. So a little bit you have to do your own. So, and then we need the tail, I think. So I make the plane again visible. Okay, let's start with the tail. Okay. So we have to change here the direction, plus minus. And I think it's okay. So let's extract this one. And here I have to unmask here. I forgot to clear the mask. So extract. I call it here tail. And a voxel remesh. Okay, so where I have to put the tail, this one are the legs. Here's the belly. And okay. So now I select the tail, use a little bit clay, and clay here more volume. So there's a small thing here that I trim it away. Oh, I changed the meta to legacy, so I don't know exactly what this is here. Ah, I used split, not trim. So, and for the tail here, I'm using the splitting option, and I split the mesh in splitting. Here 1, 2 meshes, maybe 3 or 4 meshes. So now I start with this mesh and voxel remesh it. So I'm using the solo view, and I clay here a little bit like this, and using the smoothness. So this is tail 1. Tail 1. So the next part is solo view using the clay brush. Here at the bottom, voxel remesh and a little bit smoothing. Tail 2. I put it under tail 1. Next part, the clay here. Voxel remesh, smoothing. This is tail 3. And the last one, like this here. And a little bit smoothing. And this is tail 4. Okay, so now the complete tail is here. And now we need the pivot points. So I place the pivot here for this part at this position. The next part, the pivot here. And we need here the pivot. And here. So, and I'm using a little bit the move tool to align it with the reference. Okay, let's see. Hide the plane. It becomes a dinosaur, and I think the last parts here are the hands. So I'm masking here. Oh, so here's a part here, and I need only the positive direction. Okay, it looks okay. So this is name arm 1. So I'm using voxel remesh. Back to the plane. Then here is the next part here. This is arm 2. And put it here. And so, and here is a part. I need a bigger radius. this here. So extract. Okay, arm 3 is here. And this becomes here such a claw, I think. I name it claw or finger. So we need to voxel remesh this thing. Okay. So now I don't need the other things anymore. So, and the finger under the arm. So let's bring this in position. Think a little bit more inside here, like this here. So I'm selecting only this one, a little bit clay. So this here is, I think, only a muscle, so here I'm using a little bit inflate. And where's my gizmo or my pivot? So I put the pivot here. For this one I put the pivot here. And for this one I put the pivot more in this position. So the arm, I'm not sure, but the arm is a little bit more like this here. And this one I clone, or here I use instances, so I'm creating an instance and also an instance, so to get the idea how it could look like. And the arm thing here, I add a mirror node, so now it could work. So here, yeah, it's not, at the moment it's not complete fine, so I'm not sure where to put it, or so this is refining, so let's turn the wireframe off and have a look at the whole thing. Yeah, it becomes slowly a dinosaur, and there are some mesh parts here we can separate a little bit more. So here I'm using here the mask, and I extract here an extra mesh. So I call this here eyebrows, and for the head I add a sphere primitive, so we get a eye. So where's my gizmo? Okay, so the eye needs a mirror, so I check it here. No, it's not correct. So I add a separate mirror, so I add here a mirror node. Now it's correct. So, and I validate the eye, and I clone the whole thing. And I trim it. So now I'm using a little bit inflate and smoothing, maybe voxel remesh. And here for the nose, so I'm using the mask. Here, mask maybe here apart. So this is the nose. And here I'm using clay. So maybe a few teeth, so I'm not sure here. I select this one here, masking. So we need here more topology, so I clear everything and I voxel remesh the head a little bit with more topology. So let's see the extraction. So I extract the whole thing and I trim it without symmetry, so I trim this part away, clear. And for this one, I place my pivot. Maybe somewhere here. could work. So transform tool, and I press instance. So I need here one. So I say this is a teeth. And I delete this. And I add a group for the teeth. Let's have a look. So, and I add a mirror for this thing here. Yeah, I have to bring it in a better position, so for the teeth you can spend more time on them. So but it's more for demonstration. Yeah, for the teeth you need more time. So I pick again one and I place it here at the bottom or the jaw, and I'm placing a few more, so only that it looks like he has teeth. You get the idea. So, and a few more things here. So I think I have to bring it a little bit so inside. Smoothing, and here we need more volume. So I'm not a complete good sculptor, but it's okay. It's the wrong direction, sorry. We need here clay. So here also a little clay. So the ground. validate. And I think the scaling is not correct, so I add a sphere here. So this is the correct thing, I think. So, and I select everything. And I think I make the scaling bigger. So maybe something like this here. Dino. And the plane I don't need delete, so it was only a reference. So now let's see the perspective. And here's for the legs. We need the pivot points here. Maybe here is a pivot point. And so I bring it a little bit in a other direction. No, okay. The arms are not really proper at the moment, so yeah, I can't stop here with this thing here. But you have to do a few things for your own, and me too. So I'm quite happy with this for the moment. We need one thing we need. I have to do it fast. So this is the tongue. Tongue. So, and I put it in the jaw. So. Yeah. Okay, now outline off. So let's see So here you can activate the painting, and you see here you got the painting from the image here, and this could be nice to have a nice start here for other things here. Maybe here the texture and on the leg, so you can use it here to sculpt a little further. And yeah, I think this is okay. So let's turn post-processing on and see the guy. So the fingers need a little bit work and so on. But the block out here, so I select now the whole thing here, or everything. So I select here everything, and then I'm using here the face groups, and I reset the face groups. So now I got a nice face group setting, and yeah. I think it's okay. That's it. Have fun with sculpting. Ciao.